Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome to Starcraft 2. This is a game I've had for many years and I never really played much of it online. I mostly played it through the single player campaign, which is really damn cool. I never really touched the multiplayer because when I was younger I had too much anxiety to play it. Now that I'm a little bit older I have a little bit less of it, so I figured I'd try to jump back in and see how I would do online. So I'm playing against a Terran player right here, and I figured I will just take you a little bit through my thought process. So I went straight for a spawning pool, so that will give me access to queens. Queens can inject larvae into the hatchery, which means that we have extra units that we can make at the same time. And that is very good at the very beginning of the game for the economy. So I went for an overlord because I don't want to be supply capped, and then I'm making some more drones to make up for the guys that I lost in the mineral line. One I sent over to scout, and the other one of course is now morphing into the spawning pool. Right, so I went for two overlords. I then went for a few more drones, and now that we have a spawning pool and the supply cap available again, I want to make a queen. And I also want to go for Vespian gas, because one of the things that I wanted to try here is I wanted to start off with some Zerglings for early game defense, and I wanted to transition straight into Mutalisks, which are flying units that are very good at flying around defenses and attacking bases from the rear and cleaning out mineral lines. So I was hoping to do a little bit more of that. Now my scout has arrived, and it has noticed that it's been inside the base a little bit, it saw a little bit of what's up, and then I decided to park it outside of its base, inside of the natural zone, which is the natural expansion for the Terran player. And if I can keep him there in the center, then, well, nobody can, or he can't really move out and place a command center there. Or he'll have to move it a little bit further away, which is going to be problematic for him. So I finally have some Zerglings. I decided to send them over in this direction so I could send my drone back to work, and then I have my Zerglings both to observe and scout, and potentially even take out the SCV that is going to come out to build that command center. That would be really good. So meanwhile I'm simply still going for my economy here, trying to build up. I have my second hatchery coming up so that I can have another queen and I have more production capability. And meanwhile, I'm just trying to make sure that the Terran cannot expand to any other location on the map, which would put me ahead economically. As you might notice, this is post-game commentary. I have some Zerglings I have some more Zerglings, and I decided to keep them at the base because, well, I wanted to have some defense at least, because I don't know exactly what the Terran player is up to. He might go for a factory and then I don't know what the building is called, but he could go for medivacs, which are flying units that can pick up marines and other units and then fly them into the back of my base. So I don't know what he's going to do. He might have an attack coming out that I'm not aware of, even though I have my Zerglings right outside of his base. And yeah, I decided to play it a little bit safe. These guys are not there for an attack, they're basically to intercept some SCVs. And then I'm also sending one of these guys out to make sure that he is not secretly expanding towards another base, because that's a very real possibility as well. The Terrans, most of their buildings can fly, so yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Now, in order to pull off the Mutalisks, I have to have a lot of Vespian gas, and I mean a lot of it. And usually this is where I run into problems, so I decided to get ahead of it right now and build some more of these gas buildings. And as well, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get surprised from the rear too much, so I went for double AA guns towards the back of my mineral lines. Hopefully, if the Terran player comes out with a medivac, then he's going to run into those and he's going to get shot out of the sky, or at least it's going to get severely damaged, and it's not going to stick around to heal the troops so much. And then I can pull my Zerglings back and hopefully finish off whatever got dropped into my base. At this point I feel like I have enough Zerglings and I kind of want to reinforce the front, so I kind of send them on their way. And I'm really hoping that the Terran isn't going to go for an attack here, because then I would be a little bit screwed. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep up with the injecting of larvae into the hatcheries. And I'm also wondering if I should go for the for another expansion here with another hatchery. But I did build up an infestation pit. We need one of those for further high tier units. I'm kind of building up for the future, though I haven't really planned anything for the infestation pit. I'm not wanting to make any investors or anything like that. Now, pretty soon it's going to get pretty interesting. Now, again, I wanted to see what the Terran was up to, if he's not having any secret bases that I'm not aware of. So I'm taking single circlings and I'm sending them out towards various spots on the map to make sure that there's nothing there. And actually, we will notice that there actually isn't anything there, and the Terran is still sitting on a single base while my economy is progressing nicely. Basically trying to keep up. I'm noticing that I don't have enough drones on the mineral line, and I'm kind of struggling with minerals instead of gas this time around, which is unusual, as it's usually the other way around. And now we come for the major push. This is the deciding factor in the match. The Terran pushes out with one Hellion and some Marines, but he's unaware of my circlings at the back there, and I completely wipe out his little army, and that's all he had. Now I wanted to push in and decide to attack the supply depots, but then I noticed my guys could actually move around, so I pull some circlings and I run straight for his mineral line. I want to damage his economy as much as possible. He's still cranking out some units. I'm trying to deal with them as best as I can, while meanwhile I'm trying to get my Mutalisks out onto the field. I have 3, but I want to have more for a deciding push in case the circling attack fails. And then I can follow up with the Mutalisks, but he does not, and this is a win.
Nice.
That was actually me.